Hi, Libra. It's Angela from Grounded Dreamers. How are you guys doing? We're here to do your mid-May reading. Whether it's mid-May that you're watching it or not, doesn't really matter. I'm posting it in mid-May. The energies are here. They're ready to be explored. And you can either choose to absorb it and take the guidance or put it aside for another time. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And possibly also if you're watching for someone else or whatever. And then sometimes you could just be coming upon it and see the video and go, this is the guidance I want to learn about, and it could be that Libra is somewhere else in your chart, or these are very general and very universal readings. So it's a good idea to sort of take heed to the energy when it appeals to you, right? Okay, so I pulled some oracle cards for you guys. I pulled one oracle card each, and they're based on a butterfly deck. So sort of transformative and finding aspects of ourselves that we can shift and change. And for you, Libra, I pulled relationship dynamics. So this is obviously, about you and another, but we're going to talk about your role and how you can transform. Maybe certain dynamics and relationships that you have are not so comfortable, or that you want to shift them. Maybe this could be a work relationship that, it's not somebody that's as invested in the connection as you are, or invested in moving past conflict as you are, so that the work may be just one-sided. It may be your work to adapt to those dynamics. It could be a lover, it could be with your children, with your parents, siblings, anybody. It's just anybody that you have an interpersonal relationship with. So tune into who that is for you. And then let's look at your Zen cards. Let's look at your tarot cards here. Okay, so for you, Libra, sorry, I keep adjusting that. We have starting point, internal energy that supports this vibe, or helps to transform it. External manifestation of this work, of these two cards. We have the pivot point, the key to moving forward, and then the forward movement, right? The new level that we've achieved, the new level of perception or awareness. Okay, your starting point, Libra, is, whoa, morality. Now, as it pertains to the dynamics in a relationship, this may be like the key for you. The whole key is to drop that need to categorize everything as right or wrong, good or bad, yes or no, black or white. Everything is not binary like that. And we need to be able to loosen up those shackles. This is a mental energy. It's a mental construct that we, in our minds, put labels. We're judging things as we go, right? The way my coworker, I don't know, takes 5 minutes extra on their break every day, it stops our workflow, right? That's wrong. That's bad. Well, like we've always said on here, time is sort of, not an intangible construct. So we don't always have to, that it's just, what I mean. I'm trying to say, loosen up a little. I'm sorry. Not that you're uptight, but really, if you shift the perception that that was good and that was bad, and this thing they said to me was wrong and this was right. If you shift that perception to, oh, interesting that they chose to say that to me, right? It gives you that time to pause and breathe it out before reacting too harshly. It gives you a chance to really curate what your response will be, instead of judging it and jumping right into a reaction, right? So this concept of my morals are very clearly defined, and if anyone that doesn't adhere to my set of morals, they're wrong. right? It just isn't how it works, right? Everyone has their set of morals and everyone has slippery areas, and we're all human, and we're all kind of, doing our best and trying to interact with one another the best we can. Some of us don't have that awareness, and because you're here, Libra, we know you have that awareness. We know you have that willingness to make the shift, right? You're here on this channel. That's what this is all about, right? Is being willing to examine aspects of ourselves and shift them for more ease, for more growth, and for a richer experience in our lives. Internally, as it pertains to this sense of morality, this sense of right and wrong, look what we pulled for you. Let go of it. I just said, we got to let go of some of that, right? We've got to move into its natural, that drop of water that falls off the lily pad, it just drops off. And then once it drops off, it goes, into the pond, and it sets off a whole new wave of energy. It sets off, all these rings of movement that, weren't foreseen when the water was just hanging out here on the leaf, right? So let them flow the way they flow. Let the people that aren't adhering to your set of rules, let them be, let it go, right? You can continue on with your set of rules as long as you're not harming yourself in it, and still learn to get along with others that aren't maybe 100% in line with you. In your external world, I got courage. This is one of my favorite cards. It really talks about, that hard seed that's living down in the cracks of that boulder, that's living with all its little set of rules, right? Covered and protected by this hard shell. And then it gets some water drip trickles down there, and it becomes willing to soften up that shell. Oh, let me just see where this new source, these drops of water, let me see where they lead. And then its shell starts softening, and then the sunlight comes through, and it starts to go, oh, wow, there's a little path going right toward that light. Let me see what's there. And then it sprouts and becomes this beautiful flower. Back down there, when it was this little tiny hard covered seed, it had no clue what it was going to become. And that's the courage we're speaking of here. It really isn't about bravado or forcing things through or making people see it your way. It's about allowing for the energies that are there and absorbing them for transformation, right? So allowing other people's differences to be there, and maybe utilizing them and incorporating them into your experience so that, you guys can grow together, right? Okay, the key to moving forward. Oh, look at one of my favorite relationship cards is friendliness. This is those two trees. We have a yellow tree and a pink tree, and they both are very deeply rooted in the ground with their yellow and their pink, right? But in the middle where they cross, where their roots cross and where their branches cross, there's a sense of orange, right? There's a blending there that even though each one is standing firm, root to top in who they are, in their full colors, in their full self, there's still areas where they can merge. But keeping in mind, where those trees merge, it doesn't mean one's going to overpower the other. It's a friendly merging, right? It's a light touch. It's a, connecting here and allowing still for the other to be its full self. Beautiful. This is the key. This is the concept to being able to shift these relationship dynamics. That's the key right there. I love this. There isn't any right and wrong. You have a lot of right and wrongs for yourself, but you do not have to put them on others. When you allow yourself to let go of that need, everything grows from there and everybody flourishes. I love this so much. And there's a sense of that balance too, Libra, with you and how you're represented by the scale and pure balance and equity. That's the vibe here. Whether it's a work relationship, even with a parent-child, that child is a full autonomous being, maybe not societally, but spiritually, that being knows who they are. And leaving the space to allow them to grow in that fashion is just the biggest gift you can give someone. And it helps the relationship grow. Now your outcome and your, insight into this reading. I love this, the laziness card. This doesn't mean you're lazy. It talks about sort of achieving all of these steps, right? Being able to transform a relationship takes work. And it starts with the way you appeal to it, the way you perceive it, what you believe, right? And then allowing space for that other person to be there and grow at the same time. At some point, you get to sort of rest on your laurels and know, I did a lot of work. I did a lot of work to get here, and to be able to say, we're successful, right? And so this is a nice feeling of achievement, is basically what that is. And then your next card is mastery. And that's another nice feeling of achievement, right? You're really starting to get that if I keep my spiritual self on board in my day-to-day life and let it help to move me and make my decisions and choose my interactions and choose the way I interact. If I keep my spiritual self and stay connected to the divine, like I can transform anything. I can achieve anything. I can get along with anyone. As long as I keep my own intact and allow space for that other to have their own. Now, if it's toxic, if it's I'm keeping my own, I'm holding my boundaries, and this person just can't stop breaking my boundaries, then, there's another process for that. There's definitely decisions to be made. But even in that, that's shifting the dynamic of the relationship. If you choose to leave it, if you choose to distance yourself, that's helping to shift it too. So remember that friendliness card, it depends. You want to give the other space to fully grow, but that space between you, it could be wider. It could need to be wider, right? If that closeness isn't quite working out. So this is on you. It's on you to be able to move forward with what feels right and what is best in your own life. Okay. All right, Libra, very good to see you. And I'll be back soon with some more readings. And I hope you guys are enjoying your May.